been trying to make a historical marker, a landmark sign for my my house to 3D print it, and it works. It looks really good, but sometimes you try to do. Maybe I'm trying to do too many things, and maybe this isn't going to fly. I'm not 100% certain, but uh, I wanted to put a QR code on there because a lot of times the marker would have to be huge to put much information on it and make it legible. So that's kind of and I wanted to be able to tell a bit of a story. So I don't want to have to print 60 prints to make it big enough and then piece the puzzle back together. I just want to do one. I've decided one print should be enough. I mean, it works. It looks pretty good, but the QR code doesn't work. So I don't know what to think about that. I mean, to look at it, it doesn't look any different than what I see on the screen. The one on the screen works, so I know that the image works. The actual QR code image works, but the one that I 3D printed is not working. So it could have something to do with artifact or something in it from the print. I haven't tried to clean it up or anything, and that's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to try to compare it a bit to the um, print image. So take a look at that. So here's the print image. All right, so this one actually works. This works. Let's see. I'm trying to decide what camera it is. Here. Let's see. Oh, that's not the right one. 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 Uh, okay, so I'm gonna say that. Oop, there we go. It wasn't activated. That's why I couldn't find it. Too many buttons. Okay, so here's my Hoover Joober. And the QR code should look, I want it to look like this image up here because it should work if it looks like this image, but it is not working. So use this thing here and see if I can see places where, there's a lot of little string in there, like in between. There's a little L right there. I actually see it in the image. It could have something to do with the string between them. Because it's very reflective. The strings between are pretty reflective. And I see them like they shine. There's not much to it, but they're very shiny. So I can see that camera may have some kind of problem with that shininess that's in there. So I'm just gonna go through and the best I can. This might be easier actually to do with some heat. I'm gonna go grab a heat gun. All right, so lucky he again. Okay. Trying to decide where I can plug it in at. Okay. Hopefully that'll work. And I'll just spin this out of the way. Get my mouse out of the way. And I mean, okay, down is high. It's definitely causing it to warp. All right, let's turn that off. I think it's about all the heat it can handle there, like that. Definitely causes it to warp a little bit. No doubt about that. Let's see here. All right, let's take another look at this thing. Well, I mean, it might have gotten some of it. Take that off.
I would guess that these strings register back as like high spots, but it's not really high spots because they are very reflective. And definitely a different color than the background. The brown, the coppery, bronzy color behind it. So, see if I can clean it up a little better. I may just be wasting my time here. I don't know if this may not work. Sometimes you can't always get what you want the way you want it. That's just the way things work. And I had a lot of parameters on this that I tried bringing together at once. First I would like to tell a story. I mean, that's the biggest thing. I want to be able to tell a story. There's no point in doing this unless I can tell the story. So that's kind of the underlying goal. So if all else fails, or if that fails, then all else is kind of pointless. But the uh, location that I'm going to put this thing is maybe 3.5, maybe 4 foot back from the sidewalk, and tons of people walk by the sidewalk all the time. It's a busy place, busy street. So they will certainly read what's on the plaque when they walk by it. There's no doubt about that. They'll stop and read what's on the plaque. But to make it big enough to be legible, it really has to be pretty much where it's at right now, at the size that it's at right now, and you can see that it looks really clean and really good right there at that size right there, and from 3 4 foot back, this is easily legible. No problems reading this from 3 4 foot back. So my thought was, well, instead of trying to make this enormous plaque so I can make the font big enough and all these things to get my story onto it, I would stick a QR code onto the plaque. Make a very shortened version of it, of the story, and then I give them a QR code so that they can get the longer version of it. And I would figure that some people would not want to, click a QR code, but some people are just would be like, I gotta know what's going on here. So they can click and get the full story and some pictures, images with the QR code. So that was the whole. That's the whole shebanger there. But the QR code doesn't seem to. Although it works as a 3D model, I can scan the 3D, the digital 3D model, and it'll take me to the website, or I can scan the image and it'll the original QR code image, and it'll take me to the website. For some reason, the 3D print of it is failing to take me anywhere. So I'm not sure if it has something to do with all that extra artifact that's in it. I don't know if there's a problem with the print someplace. I mean, whenever I try to compare it to the print, I really I struggle to find a difference. I mean, there was spots like this that I wondered about, this huge block of stuff here, but that exists in there. I was like, ah, surely that's a problem, but it's not. There's a hole in it. There's even a hole in it. Little dots here are all exist. I don't know. Maybe I would have been better off if I'd have made this just a little bit higher or lower and made it white so that it really stood out against the instead of black because the holes may be giving me problems. So let's see what my phone does here now. I cleaned it up a little bit. I'll start over here with this one here, and sites google.com. I mean, it pulls it up pretty quickly. It's going to take it to sites.google.com, which is where. Oh, okay. There we go. It just won't pull it up. I'm going to say that it's probably the geometry is not 100% right. I'm going to say that's probably the problem here because I can fill it up on my screen. It just does not want to work. I'll move this forward there. But yeah, yeah, it should come up with the website right there on it. But it just isn't. Try to get it to focus in different spots here. Maybe it'll pick it up slightly differently. Maybe hitting from slightly different angles. I don't know. I mean, if I put it over here on this one, you can see that right away it comes up down here with sites.google.com, and that's where it's going to, and if I click on that, it's going to take me to the website. So the QR code actually works. This QR code that's up here in the corner of the screen works. But for some reason, 3D printed like this, it doesn't. So I didn't change any aspect ratio of it or anything like that. I mean, it's all the dimensions except for it's not quite 100% true because I put depth. I added depth to it because it didn't have a. There's no depth to that image. There's no third dimension. There's no third axis to it. So I had to add a little bit of depth to it. I don't know if that's what done it, what did it, what caused the problem, but it sure looks the same when I look at this thing and look at the two of them compared to each other. I mean, I mean, I can see that there's a bit of a maybe stuff like this. There's a bit of a hair in there and a hair right there next to that dot. Just maybe the computer just cannot deal with stuff like that. It's just a strand, but yeah, it's in there. Okay, and then I mean that looks the same. All right, I'm gonna try one more thing. So uh, these strings might be causing it problems. I don't know. So there's something else that you can do. I mean, uh, for these strings, you gotta be real careful. You can't get too much heat built up on this stuff because you'll freaking scorch your shit. But this should actually get rid of the strings. Smell it. Now you can see it right there. We can see I'm scorching it a little bit. See a little bit of string over here. All right. I gotta be careful. I'm actually scorching it a little bit. Yeah, that's nothing. I'm gonna try to take some of the sheen off of it, make it flatter. I noticed that scorching it a little bit took some of the sheen off. I don't know that that would make a difference because a QR code works on a piece of shiny paper, so I don't know why that would make a difference for a shiny piece of plastic. But hey, I'm not a camera, and I'm not an app, digital app. So who am I to tell it how it works? All right, one more time. Nothing. Okay. Well, I don't know. I'll have to do a little bit of reading or something. Maybe somebody out there has a tip or something out there or about how to get the QR codes to print at a resolution that maybe I'm not. I need to go back and look at what resolution I'm printing at or something. Uh, Maybe I'm not printing at a high enough fidelity to make this work. I mean, when I look at these two things, these two images, and I've got this one blown up on the screen here, as it fills the screen. When I look at these two images, I really don't see why it wouldn't work. But as I said, I am not a camera and a digital app, so I don't know. I'm not sure what else to try on that.
to make that work. I don't know that there's something that will make it work. There's another option too. I could inlay with epoxy a QR code, a printed QR code that works. I don't know. It's a whole nother thing to consider here. I think that that might be the next option. Print it without the QR code on it, and then print the QR code, and then use some epoxy to hold it. I'm gonna have to use epoxy anyway because this stuff is gonna the sun will just destroy this. So putting some boat epoxy on there will help make it last a little longer out there in the sun. So that's probably my next trick. Because I don't really know what to do with this to make this work. It's just it looks like it should just work, but it does not. It's just not accurate enough, is what I would guess. There's just enough discrepancy in it that it doesn't work. So I don't know. I can go check and see if there's a maybe I'm not printing out. I can see the print lines in this year. I might be printing out a just because it takes so long to print things at a high resolution. I might be printing at a kind of a lower resolution, and yeah, that could help if I printed at a higher resolution to make these more accurate. Man, that I mean, this little trail of dots that go down at an angle there, dot 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 dot, four dots, and then two dots there at the bottom. That mean, nice stands out to me. It looks like there's a little smiley face over here or a flat face over here. I can see that over there. There's a little bear right there, it's kicking the ball. This kind of looks like it's got a. It's supposed to just be a dash, but there's kind of a bit of artifact. Right? Oh, I broke it off. Yeah, now it won't print at all. I just broke a piece off. I sliced it right off. Sliced it right off with my. Now it won't work at all. So yeah, there's no hope at all now. I don't know if that. I don't know what that piece there. What piece of information that held on there, but it's not there anymore. It might have not been. It might have not been arbitrary that one particular part that is cut off, but it wasn't working before anyway. So it's not like I was really I did anything. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Sometimes you take on projects and then you think that it's going to be a cakewalk. You just think that I'm just going to do this thing and it's going to be funny. But then you realize like I'm like I don't know. I mean, this is like the second or third weekend into it where I mean, and I'm not taking a whole lot of time, but I've tried this several times because I wanted first I had to get the print the font size right and the amount of text that I could get on it, and I made a lot of concessions and decisions along the way there. I don't know. I think that to make this work, and for the sake of my own sanity, because I know that the print works, or I know that the image works, just print the image, and then uh, epoxy. When I epoxy, I just put that on there, and I think that's probably the easiest solution. It's not exactly the look that I was going for because the 3D printed QR code looks pretty freaking sweet, man. That looks pretty sweet. But I mean, if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. No, I think it's upside down or something, sideways. There we go. Yeah, if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. So I mean, it looks pretty sweet on there, and this thing looks like a flag. You know, I got other projects coming up, so man. Yeah, I think I'll probably have to take another stab at this and re just basically print this thing off this size and then epoxy it to it. I might epoxy it to a small block that would rise it up a little bit so it would look like it's lifted. Or I might just print a block there that lifts it, and then that way it can sit right on top of it. That's probably the easiest way to do it. Just print a little block there. There. And then slice the thing off the right size to fit on there. And then just lay it on there. I wondered about using white, but the black should work. I don't see why it's not. It's definitely two different tones. The computer can see two different tones way easier than we can. A lot sharper, a lot more clear, especially you know. So I don't see why this is a problem here. I just think it's not accurate enough. The 3D print of it is just not accurate enough for some reason. Something's not the right scale. Something's got a bit of an artifact to it. And I could sit here and look at this for over and over again. And the only discrepancy that I have caught on there is is really just that one spot that I just broke off and the fact that it has those little strings that I burnt off of there. But everything else, I mean, it really just looks like the shapes are just look like the shapes. Okay, no, I think I'm just gonna leave it at that. Well, I thought that maybe that doing a little bit of work to it, I might be able to bring it to life, and it would be kind of a cool thing to have happen in here. But fail.